Looking for some great books on blogging? In this video, I give you 25. If I knew what I know now, when I first started blogging, I would have been earning income within only a few months. However, it took me 4 years to figure out all the ways to monetize my website and set up a process that would lead to me having a successful and profitable blog. Blogging isn't something you can choose as a major in college. So almost everything you learn has to be found by educating yourself using Google, other blogs, and of course, reading great books about blogging. Out of all the books I have listened to, here's my list of the best books about blogging that all bloggers should read if they are serious about making a living from their website. The first book on our list is The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. I'm starting my list of books about blogging with a very famous one. I haven't heard of a more referenced book since Rich Dad Poor Dad, but I'm here to tell you that is for a good reason. The 4-Hour Workweek talks about the flaws of the typical 9-to-5 job and the stress it causes you in your life. Life should be enjoyed while you're young, not when you retire. Ferriss shows you all his strategies on escaping the rat race or staying in your current role as a virtual employee. This book resonates with bloggers because many of us desire that new rich lifestyle. We want to work on the beach and find new and exciting things to get into and not have to worry about our expenses while we do it. There are some ideologies in this book that are a little oversimplified, but it's still really inspirational and educational nonetheless. At the very least, it won't make you feel wacky for wanting an unconventional lifestyle. Our next book on the list is Pro Blogger by Darren Rose and Chris Garrett. If the names sound familiar, it is because it was written by the creators of the Pro Blogger website. This book has excellent resources. However, I don't recommend reading it until you already have your blog up. It may be a little too in-depth for a new blogger to follow. There are great insights here, but a lot of blogging jargon. But I still think it's a great read. Book number 3. Email Marketing That Doesn't Suck by Michael Clark. If you are working to start a newsletter, Michael Clark is your guy. He has a series of books for bloggers that doesn't suck, covering a range of topics, including social media marketing and screenplay writing. In this book, Clark gives great advice on why you need a newsletter if you already have a website. He also gives you ideas on how often you should be emailing that list, what you should be emailing, and how to go about growing your email list. If you do not have an email list and do not realize that it is one of the most valuable assets on your blog, read this book. I like this book because it's short and sweet. I'm all about getting the best bang for your buck, and you get just that in this small package. It tells you all the meaty details about getting a newsletter started and finding out what your readers want. I liked it and was able to start my newsletter the next day after listening to this book. Book number 4, The 6-Figure Second Income. The 6-Figure Second Income gives you step-by-step instructions on creating a simple product to sell online and start earning extra income on the side. I have to say, I was a little disappointed that it was not exactly blog related, but the info he gives on researching for your information product before creating is superb. If you are ready to establish a product for your blog, this is an excellent book to read. This book is SEO rich, meaning it talks a lot about SEO. So even if you are not exactly ready to create a product for yourself, I still suggest you read it and apply some of the SEO practices to your blog. Number 5. The $100 Startup by Chris Jublow. There were some references to the 4-Hour Workweek in this book, as Chris Jublow talks about how he used his info product to live the way he wanted to live. He talks about many others who started businesses investing $100 or less to earn incomes upward of $50,000. The $100 Startup is not only inspiring, but also a very well explained guide on launching something on your own. There are 2 reasons why you should read this book. First, it has some great marketing resources, from a marketing checklist to a launching guide. Second, it goes into great depth about the importance of the launch and putting your best foot forward in the beginning. It has great info, great resources, and step-by-step instructions. Number 6 on the list is #GirlBoss by Sophia Amoruso. #GirlBoss is an autobiography for Nasty Gal creator Sophia Amoruso. While she was not a blogger, her story of how she started Nasty Gal with an eBay store is very reminiscent to blog life. Sophia often talks about how people underestimated her and her business, calling it her unfunded startup. I love this terminology and how she described her starting her $1 million business without a single investor. I love her hustle and how much she talks about the crazy things she did to get her business to where it is now. This book was also turned into a series on Netflix in 2017, which was also pretty good. Number 7 is Virtual Freedom by Chris Ducker. This is a book that talks about hiring virtual help for your business. When you first start blogging, this is usually hard to afford, but once you reach a certain level, you have to be able to trust other people for help, especially people who could do a task for you faster and more efficiently. My website is my baby, and when I first started, I did not think I could trust anyone enough to help me with it. That changed once I got a larger workload. I know this is tough for many entrepreneurs in general, let alone bloggers, but this book is a great step-by-step guide that shows you how to find freelancers, how to work with them, and how to know what to pay them. It's a great informative read. Number 8 is The Laptop Millionaire by Mark Anasazi. This was one of the first books about blogging I read after the 4-hour workweek, and I was incredibly inspired by reading it. The Laptop Millionaire is Mark Anasazi describing his life with his mentor, the Laptop Millionaire, and how he changed his life forever. He went from being poor and homeless to being a millionaire without having to spend a dime. How Anasazi's story is inspiring, it is also a practical guide and has a chapter dedicated to every type of way you can make money online, from getting paid to tweet to selling an info product. He also has an excellent list of tools and resources that I still use to this day. A great read and perfect for someone who has yet to get started blogging. Warning, there are some black hat practices in this book I would not recommend, so beware of that, but they do not take away from some of the practical advice Anasazi offers. Number 9 on the list is Crushing It, How Great Entrepreneurs Build Their Business and Influence, and How You Can Too by Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary V is the man when it comes to online marketing and personal branding. These are 2 things all bloggers should be well versed in. And if you are the type of person who likes to cut through the bullshit and get to the pertinent details of the subject, Gary V is your guy. Crushing It has some gems when it comes to building your business. While this book is not directly about blogging, it covers a lot of the fundamental topics that bloggers should know. It is also incredibly inspiring when Gary Vee tells the stories of other people who have used his methods and succeeded. Many of their stories are very familiar to the blogging journey. Book number 10 is Start With Why, How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action by Simon Sinek. Start With Why talks about how to accomplish any goal you set your mind to by starting with why do you want to do it in the first place. While the concept is simple, this book was mind-blowing for me when I first read it. Start With Why is a great book for all entrepreneurs. Any blog course you take always starts the same way. Why do you want to achieve your goal? And that is because of this book. It emphasizes why setting a goal and understanding why you want to achieve that goal helps you reach it in the end. Book number 11 is Launch, an internet millionaire's secret formula to sell almost anything online, build a business you love, and live the life of your dreams by Jeff Walker. If you have never heard of Jeff Walker, you may have still seen remnants of his legacy. He is the creator of the launch method online that you often see when you are being sold something on a sales page or website. Walker's book shows you everything you need to know about selling a product online. The most successful bloggers have a product, and even if you do not have one yet, you have plenty to sell online, whether it's traffic to your blog post or selling other people's products through affiliates. This is a great book for bloggers at any level to read. Book number 12 is 1 Million Followers, How I Built a Massive Social Following in 30 Days by Brandon Kane. As the title says, the book is about Brandon Kane's journey on how he grew his social media following in 30 days. Growing your social media following online is just as fundamental to your blogging business as writing great blog content is. You should be growing your social media as you are building your blog, so this book is a great resource to help you get there. Book number 13 is How to Blog for Profit Without Selling Your Soul by Ruth Soukup. Ruth Soukup, creator of the blog Living Well, Spending Less and Elite Blog Academy, wrote this book so you know it is filled with helpful information. Ruth Soukup is a 7-figure blogger, and she teaches her strategies on how to blog for profit in this book. Do you want to have a more profitable blogging career? Then you should read this book about blogging. She covers a variety of ways you can make money, including passive income through affiliate marketing and products, and then active income through sponsored posts. Number 14 on my list is Everything is Figureoutable by Marie Forleo. Marie Forleo details her philosophy on why everything is figureoutable. Honestly, this is an inspirational read. It gives insight into how other people have taken Forleo's advice to overcome the challenges they face in life and in business. I loved this book when I read it. If you are feeling discouraged with your blog because you're not hitting the goals you have set for yourself, this will remind you that everyone has those periods in life when everything feels like a struggle. Regardless of how successful Marie Forleo is in life, she too had similar struggles. Book 15 is Atomic Habits by James Clear. This is an incredible book that had a lasting impression on me long after I finished reading it. If you have a habit that you want to start or a bad one that you want to stop doing, this book is for you. Clear shares his story on how developing good habits helped him succeed in life despite huge challenges. The best bloggers are the consistent ones, and there's no better way to be consistent than to build healthy blogging habits. Honestly, I think everyone should read this book. Even if you don't own a blog, it will help you in the long run. Book 16 is The One Thing, The Surprisingly Simple Truth Behind Extraordinary Results by Gary W. Keller and Jay Papasan. This book about blogging teaches something that all bloggers struggle with: focus. Learn how to pick the most important things to focus on every day so that you get more done. The struggle is real when it comes to working online. There are distractions everywhere. So the idea of focusing on one thing at a time for extended periods of time sounds like a fantasy to most of us. But this book shows you how to do it, and it's a great read. Book 17 is The Power of Habit: Why We Do What We Do in Life and Business by Charles Duhigg. Speaking of habits, this is a great book on habits as well. While Atomic Habits has many details on strategies you can use, The Power of Habit talks directly about little habits that can make a big difference in our lives, making sure we never lose our keys or stop eating unhealthy foods. Habits can make you or break you. So the more you can improve on your habits, the more successful you will be with your blog. Book 18 is one of my favorites, The Alchemist, a fable about following your dream by Paulo Coelho. This is a fable, but there are a lot of lessons to learn in this book. It's all about the story of a boy who decides to pursue his dreams and the trials and tribulations he goes through to do it. This is one of my favorite books of all time. So of course, it comes highly recommended. This is another book that proves to be inspirational and will take you on an emotional roller coaster of sorts. Though it's not one of the books about blogging on this list, the lessons you'll take away from it can be applied directly to your business. Book 19 is The Miracle Morning, the not so obvious secret guaranteed to transform your life before 8 a.m. by Hal Elrod. The Miracle Morning teaches you why it pays to get up early. Although you might not be a morning person now, you might be converted after this read. You'll learn all the best strategies to make the most of your morning so that you have a more productive and successful day. Many of us are not blogging full time. We have other things to do, like taking care of our kids or going to work. Because of this, making use of the mornings when everyone else is asleep is a great opportunity to grow your blog. Book number 20 is The Compound Effect: Jumpstart Your Income, Your Life, Your Success by Darren Hardy. This is a good book because it tells you what consistent habits can result to. Think of this book as a much needed part 2 to all the other habit books I recommended. Have you ever heard of the compound effect related to your savings account? Well, get ready to learn more about that concept and apply it to things you do every single day. This book was an eye-opener for me every time I decided to read it. Book 21, Guest Blogging Goldmine: How I Got More Than 100,000 Visitors a Month on My Blog in 9 months using a free marketing strategy by Tom Corson. If you are looking for new ways to drive traffic to your site, this book about blogging gives you a good avenue to do that through guest posts. This strategy is from Tom Corson, who details what he did to get more than 100,000 visitors on his blog every month. You are writing blog posts anyway, so why not use them to drive traffic to your site? This is an interesting strategy in which you write content for other people, allowing you to drive traffic to your site while also bringing in additional revenue for your business. Book 22 is Grit: The Power of Passion and Perseverance by Angela Duckworth. Grit was an interesting read. I had never heard of the term grit prior to reading this book by Angela Duckworth, but I am so glad I know what it is now. If you want to know what it takes to have a long-lasting blog, this is a great book to read for that. You absolutely need grit to have a long-lasting blog. It pays to know what it is and how you cultivate more of it. This book shows you how. Book 23 is Good to Great: Why Some Companies Make the Leap and Others Don't by James C. Collins. This is a book on the differences between good companies and great ones. If you ever wonder how the best companies in the United States came to be, this book is filled with inspiring stories. Creating a thriving blog business is about much more than just writing great content. It is about building a brand, growing a team, team, and having lasting success. All things that are important when it comes to building a great company. This book will not only inspire you, but also give you some ideas on how to run your business. Book 24, The Entrepreneur's Internet Handbook, your legal and practical guide to starting a business website by Hugo Barreca and Julia K. O'Neill. This handbook is filled with answers to questions you'll inevitably ask when you first start an internet business, such as handling your taxes and writing a concise business plan. O'Neill gives you a great overview of what to expect when operating a business online. You are not just a blogger, but also a blogger entrepreneur. With this book, you can make sure you are taking the right steps to keep it that way. This is an excellent, easy to read book that will help you feel less overwhelmed with all the legal and tech things you need to do to run your business. Our last book is Delivering Happiness, A Path to Profits, Passion, and Purpose by Tony Hsieh. Let's finish off our list of books about blogging with one I return to again and again. Tony Hsieh, the founder of Zappos, shares his story on how he came to form his brand, which was later acquired by Amazon. He shares the aha moments he had along the way, as well as the most important skills one needs to run a successful business. Tony was such a down-to-earth guy, and it really shows in his book. He takes all the knowledge he learned while growing up and in college and applied it to his business. In this book, he shares why he thinks his mindsets and ideologies worked in his favor. This was such a good read that I still find myself referencing to it when I have an important decision to make with my business. That's my list. I hope you like my selection. I love a good book suggestion. So if you have some favorite books about blogging, please let me know some of your favorites in the comments below. I'll see you all next time.